am the news for reasons I can never explain. I speak the truth. I put an end to all your pain.
It's Thursday the 1st of October, it's Channel 4, this is the 11 o'clock show, and I'm Fred MacAulay.
I'm Brendon Burns.
Hello, I'm TV's Iain Lee.
Now, I don't know if you watched the gardening show Ground Force on BBC One tonight, but apparently the ratings went up by 3 million when the word got out that the presenter wasn't wearing a bra.
3 million viewers just because the presenter wasn't wearing a bra. Well, if it's got to be done, it's got to be done.
So, up 3 million already.
There you go.
So, October the 1st, International Day of the Elderly, the start of the pheasant shooting season, and the swearing in of the elected Nigerian president. Quite a day in anybody's book. And here in the 11 o'clock show, we squeeze all its news into a single minute. Sir Paul Condon denies that police have a problem with racism, claiming they do it really well. Meanwhile, the BBC deny accusations of silence in the Lawrence family.
My son...
Sorry, we seem to have lost Mr. Lawrence's sound there.
As Tony Blair and his wife decide to renew their wedding vows, observers say Sherry Blair is not looking her best. Police crack down on shoplifters, but sex shops are to be made exempt as customers often leave with a bulge in their clothes. 11-year-old eco-warrior threatens more dirty protests after getting his entire school to take part in a mass bedwetting. Coming up in the show, the Channel 4 Voice of Youth raps with Tory MP Teddy Taylor.
What about Holland? Will they still speak in...
Dutch.
Don't tell me. Well, give me a clue.
Dutch.
And Tommy Vance gives us a blast from the past from this day in history.
Who's that breaking the news? Jesus Christ! Not quite, but it's that next best thing.
In America today, the clean-up operation after the havoc wrought by Hurricane George has begun in earnest. In Mississippi and Alabama, wind speeds reached up to 150 miles an hour, putting out many of the state's burning crosses. Despite the damage to property, human casualties in Alabama have been light. "We was lucky," said the governor. Local hospitals have reported a few minor injuries. 7 or 8 people. You can count them on the fingers of one hand.
Thank you, Deputy Dog. As for George, it's been downgraded from hurricane to tropical storm. Although, as far as we're concerned, it lost much of its power when we found out that it was actually called George with an S. Not George, no, George. George we could buy. George is rock. George is a mate. George buys you a beer. George serves it to you with a lacy dolly underneath.
Are you calling my hurricane a poof?
Yes, it twists the other way, if you know what I mean.
Hurricanes should be called things like Dave or Steve, but look at the names of this year's storms. Alex, Bonnie, Charlie, that's Charlie spelt E-Y, though you can bet if it was spelt I-E, they'd dot the I with a little smiley circle. Danielle, Errol, Francis, and now George. It reads more like a guest list at a wine tasting. How hard would it be to have names that really scare people into action? Hurricane, my girlfriend's just missed her period. Hurricane, was that lump there yesterday? Hurricane, that story where that woman had spider eggs laid in her cheek and they hatched and crawled all over her face and I was really frightened.
Yesterday, the IRA made their first appearance at a party conference since the Brighton bombing. And Tony Blair met with Gerry Adams, who claimed that he could not order the IRA to give in their weapons. Here's me earlier on film on a street now. So if Gerry's unable to deliver IRA decommissioning, the so-called troubles in Northern Ireland are not as over as we first thought. I'm here to find out what rubbish the ordinary person on the street has got to say on the subject and whether they know what to do if they came face to face with a bomb. there is talk to help the situation will be to have Catholics and Protestants competing in a TV-style sort of game show, like It's a Knockout, Gladiators, or Krypton Factor. Would that be a good idea, a good way to solve the problems?
Maybe, yeah.
What about 15 to 1?
I don't know what 15 to 1 is.
Sorry?
I don't know what 15 to 1 is.
It's a competition where there's 15 people standing behind, and William G. Stewart stands there and asks each one of them a question. In the first round, you can leave one man. In the third round, they nominate each other. Until they've got 15, they're down to 3 people. The one is the winner. 15 to 1 is the winner.
That sounds fine.
Would it help, for example, if we sent the Chuckle Brothers over there to do a cabaret with a unionist theme?
I don't know. There's got to be extremes on both sides who are not going to enjoy it.
I mean, would it help if we sent Joe Pasquale or the Chuckle Brothers over there? Would that help the situation in Northern Ireland?
Might help.
Which would be the most successful, Joe Pasquale or the Chuckle Brothers, do you reckon?
Chuckle Brothers.
But the IRA may become a political party. Who do you think they should get for their party political broadcasts?
Father Ted or something like that.
Father Ted would be good.
Oh yeah, he's dead, isn't he? I forgot that.
One of the new measures they may introduce is bomb disposal training for everyone in the country.
If you trained me to defuse a bomb, wouldn't you be also training me to make one in the first place?
No. What we've got here is actually a mock bomb.
Bang!
Let's cut the green. Quickly, 1, yes! That was just in time. That was exactly the right one to do. The green and yellow every time. Now, you've just saved your friend's life, you've saved everyone's lives here, the fruit stall, everything. How do you feel about that?
That's quite good, because I'm an electrician, so I'm proud of that.
Well, you should have got it right.
Well, not really. It's completely different bomb disposal.
Bang! This is Iain Lee for the 11 o'clock show.
Iain, I think we should let the people at home know about bomb disposal.
Yeah, I said on the film that if you want to dispose a bomb, you cut the green and yellow wire. I haven't got a clue, I just made it up. I don't really know, sorry.
And it's different from electricity?
Yes.
Good. In a bid to get a life back on track, Louise Woodward, the woman who brought new meaning to the phrase bouncing baby boy, today had her first lecture at the South Bank University, where she's studying for a degree in law.
Louise is hoping eventually to become a lawyer and is looking forward to being just an ordinary, normal student. Apparently her first day has been rather difficult. When people asked, "What did you do in your year off?" she had to reply, "I shook a baby to death."
At first, Louise's fight to get a place in a law course didn't go too smoothly. These are the scenes in her hometown of Elton, where her fans heard the news that she hadn't got into her first choice, Loughborough.
We have come to a decision, and on this occasion, we will not be offering Miss Woodward a place at Loughborough University.
Eventually she got a place at South Bank University, and at Freshers' Week ball she vowed to hit the floor with the kids and get smashed off her skull.
The new slimline Louise has opted against the traditional greasy student food available in the college canteen in favour of a strict diet plan she learnt in the States. It's the one where you have a shake for breakfast, a shake for lunch, and by evening you could really murder something.
Good luck to her in her new career. Let's hope she makes a killing in the city.
The German government announced this morning that it's melting down €3 million coins because of a design fault. Every day it seems that there is more chaos at the heart of the EU. So let's go over to our European Affairs correspondent, Wim van der Laan, to learn of the latest lunacy that's being sprouted from the mouth of Brussels.
Here today in Brussels, the European Commission announced that to be in line with current European practices, each member state must now produce one chocolate bar and one fizzy drink, the name of which is a rude word to another country. The Austrians will produce nip kiss, which I cannot even tell you what it means in my language. And if you British were to come to my country, I would like you to eat shit and die. Then, if you are thirsty, you must now drink from my dirty cock. So, how do you like the taste of that, yeah?
Is that true, Ben?
Sadly, no. I have been pulling the wool over your bollocks.
Then why are you saying this?
Because we're Europeans and we hate you British.
But I'm not British. I don't have a bowler hat or an umbrella, and I've never been buggered by my headmaster at school.
There's time yet, Brendon. Right here is the new Cosmopolitan with Pamela Anderson on the front. Nothing odd about that, you might think, except that Cosmopolitan have admitted that the picture has been airbrushed to make her breast look smaller. And if you look closely, as I have, you'll see for yourself. It's a growing trend. In fact, a number of people are now suggesting that this picture of Anthea Turner on the cover of Tatler has also been doctored in some way. Well, we can settle the issue. The 11 o'clock show has exclusively obtained the original undoctored version of the photo, and here it is.
Well, we'll be back after the break when you can see this.
Yeah. They call me Mr. Bombastic, reggae fantastic. Come back in the second half because I'm going to be talking to Teddy Taylor, MP, about Europe. Keep it real.
Hundreds of school children stolen by women wearing glasses and brown wax jacket.
Welcome back to the 11 o'clock show, bringing you today's news nicely. And thanks very much for coming back after the break. We're glad you weren't tempted by Phil Collins Live by request on ITV. After all, who wants to listen to a middle-aged bald git whittering on?
Europe chaos in store. That was the headline on the front of today's Sun, as the Bank of England warned that things can only get worse. But does everybody really understand what European Union will be like? Here to help us figure it out is Channel 4's official voice of youth, Ali G, talking to top Tory MP and Eurosceptic Teddy Taylor.
Yeah. You don't stop. It goes out to the crew up top. That's it.
Wicked. We is here with Teddy Taylor, MP for Southport, and he is a Tory, and he is talking to us about Europe, because it's time we know about this Europe tin that we're hearing about every day. So who else is in Europe first off?
Well, the countries that are in Europe, for example, are countries like Spain, like Germany, like France, like Finland, and you'll find there's some countries, of course, that haven't joined. And the interesting thing is...
Most of them is crap countries, though.
Well, I don't know if they're crap countries. Some of them are very good countries.
Is Jamaica in Europe?
Jamaica's not there in the Commonwealth, and it's really
Is that
sad
not
because-
racialist, though, that they is not
Well,
in
no,
Europe?
they say basically the only countries that can join are European countries. An awful lot of the decisions are made in what's called horse trading. You support me in this one, and I'll support you in this one.
What do you mean, with horses?
No, horse trading, just basically, look, Ali, I want to get this thing, I don't want a Euro plug. So will you vote with me to stop the Euro plug, and I'll vote with you on something else.
And where do the horses come in?
The horse might be saying, no Euro plug, and in exchange they'll say, well, we want more money for this, or more money for that, or more power for this.
So the horse... the horse is at a meeting? Where? So will it be all right to kill someone like you can do in Denmark?
I don't think there's Denmark, can you?
One of them countries, Denmark or Sweden.
Well, Sweden, they don't think they've got lots of murders there, but the only thing is...
Yeah, that's the one. So what about the pornos? Would that be still be legal in Amsterdam?
Well, it's going to be very difficult indeed, quite frankly, as the borders go down to try and accept a difference in policy.
So will I still be able to buy stuff with, you know, dogs and women or whatever in Amsterdam? Is that going to be illegal then?
Oh no, that's still, you'll still be able to do that. But the whole question is it going to have the same law for Europe?
So we could start getting pornos of that quality coming
If the European Council of Ministers decide that the same rules should apply throughout Europe.
Aren't there any good things about it though? Like I don't know, the ladies, like everyone knows we've got a lot of mingers here. And, you know, you get some Swedes, whatever, and because they is easier and less frigid than, you know, English girls.
You're far better looking for a girl in Southend. Southend and Sea is the place where the loveliest girls are.
May I have a look around, man?
I must say, it's the nicest place in the world, Southend.
No, it's nice, but the girls is not rocking, man. If you want to join Europe, make sure you have a BRIAN, know what you was doing before you throw it all away. Big
Done
shout.
that a long time ago.
Teddy T.
Well done.
Respect.
After months of anticipation, today finally saw the launch of Sky TV's digital television service. Now, viewers lucky or rich enough to have coughed up for a decoder unit will have the choice from a seemingly infinite number of new channels.
But just what is digital TV? Well, digital radio has been on air for a month now, and listeners say the sound quality is quite amazing. For instance, here's John Humphreys on this morning's Today programme, and if you listen carefully, you can pick up the most incredible detail.
Lord Hattersley was the deputy leader of the old Labour Party. Were things really that different then, Roy Hattersley?
I think we're very different as far as lobbyists are concerned. I happen to believe that the Prime Minister is one of the most honest and one of the most sincere.
But the real magic roundabout, it was wonderful, Dougal and Zebedee and Brian and all of those. Anyway, here's the weather.
But will the material and screen match the quality it's broadcasting? The new service will feature channels such as UK Gold 2, which will broadcast leftovers from UK Gold 1. So good news there for fans of Triangle and Tucker's Luck.
Do we need so many new channels? We've got our hands on a decoder and a program guide, so we can have a flick through and make our own minds up.
53, what's this, Brendon?
This is the... This is the Civ channel. Round-the-clock coverage of sensational Civ action. See popular foodstuffs sieved and sorted by the country's leading sievers. Oh, cool, hang on. Try 76. That's the milk shopping channel.
Things you get to drink. Now, of course, milk is handily available in several size containers, the most popular being these. Now, this is the full pint version because it's a large full pint, and this is the half pint version, so called because it's roughly half the content of what's in this. Now, John Gaynor from the Milk Marketing Board, these are very popular sizes with the consumer, aren't they?
Very popular indeed, particularly the pint. I mean, the pint is the Rolls-Royce of carton sizes. Right. People like the pint, not so big and clumsy as something like that would be. They can get their hand around it.
Now, you say the Rolls-Royce of cartons, but the Rolls-Royce of bottles has always been this shape. Now, this one is the gold top, so called because it has a gold top lid on the white body, and that always reminds me of the broadcaster Chris Evans, actually.
He looks not unlike Bonnie Langford as well.
That's true, yeah.
But that's one of the great things about milk. It can resemble so many different celebrities. Yes.
Brendon, this is a bit dull.
Well, how about 96? That's the 3D writing network. How about 96? That's the News Gold channel with Tommy Vance.
Hi, my name is Tommy Vance, and this is my News Gold. It's 10 years ago today, and the Olympic record books are smashed with hammers of truth. Drug-busted Ben Johnson is banned, but plucky Linford squirts only the purest urine into the tester pots. He's cleared and promoted, but only to second. Nice try, Linford, but next time, why not take some drugs? They make you go fast, like a wolf. And who's that breaking the news? Jesus Christ. Not quite, but it's the next best thing. It's 1978, and it's the Cold War. But no one's colder than Georgy Markov. Why? He's dead. Stabbed by cunning commies with a poison-tipped umbrella. Ouch. But do we care? Only because it's a cool way to die. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Hey, it's a plane, of course. On this day in 1968, Boeing introduces the biggest jet yet since the dawn of time. They look great, but you wouldn't catch me in one. Do you know how much they weigh? No, nor do I. From crazy planes to just plain crazy. It's 1958, Anno Domini, and the kids have gone hoop-loopy. America is hooked on hula. They say it is safer than drugs, but try doing this at my age. I'd sooner have a spliff.
And now it's time for What the Papers Ought to Say.
It was announced today that Comic Relief are to give £46,000 to a group of Scousers to research the effects of negative stereotyping of Liverpudlians. George McCain is quoted as saying in the Telegraph, during the Beatles era, the city tended to be regarded as hip happening. And what he ought to have said was...
The night the Beatles made any cash, they left and went to live in Sussex.
More TV programmes are made about Scousers than any other region, and the reason is that they are what you see on screen. Interesting, delightful people.
Scousers make cheap extras for TV comedies because you don't have to spend money on tasteless makeup and wardrobe.
Liverpudlians complain they are routinely and unfairly portrayed in a bad light. When they're not taking drugs, they're stealing. And when they're not stealing, they're running around with gangsters.
And don't forget doll fiddling. But to be fair, the group who has received the money say they do intend to spend the cash on positive propaganda and civic pride, both of which, incidentally, are running in tomorrow's 3:20 at Kempton.
News today that Monica Lewinsky claims to have found God, when I think we all know it's just any excuse for that girl to get down on her knees. But she sucked the president off, come on. But for the latest on the Clinton story and all the American news, we go over now to Rich Hall, live in Washington. Rich.
Hi, everyone. I'm standing in front of the United States Capitol building. Look at that bad boy, will ya? Man, that makes me feel patriotic. Monica Lewinsky yesterday asked to go on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and Oprah turned her down out of some sense of moral outrage. By the way, Oprah's new movie, The Beloved, opens this weekend, in which she does a nude scene. So see there? The irony bus runs about every 3 minutes in this country. Right, elsewhere, Mike Tyson is out in Las Vegas undergoing psychiatric evaluation to determine whether he should box again. Psychiatric evaluation to determine whether he should be beating the hell out of other people. Now, they asked him why he wanted to fight again, and he said, I'm not making this up, a man needs to eat. Anyway, he claims he's broke. Some actress sued him for libel. Claims that he called her a maliciously manipulative money grabber and sued him. Maliciously manipulative money... You ever seen Mike Tyson talk? I'm pretty sure he didn't say maliciously manipulative money grabber. Might have said malicious there by accident, you know, like with a mouthful of cookies or something, just going, honey, these are malicious. These are great. All right, I gotta go. See you later.
Well, it's good to see so many men laughing. Good, hearty British laughs. But how many of you men are laughing on the inside, huh? Not many, according to this report in the Mail today. It says here that British men are the most depressed in Europe, according to the Royal College of Psychiatrists. Of course they are, they live in Britain.
Apparently, the primary symptom is, and I quote, a depressed mood. That's very revealing. So, if ever you've sat at home feeling depressed and wondered what's wrong, it's because you're depressed. The Guardian asked sufferer Philip Wood to describe his condition, and he says, I call it my black, heavy overcoat of pain, impossible to take off because the buttons are soldered together. My body aching from all the vain attempts to rip it off. It gets worse. He goes on to say he describes his depression as rather like walking through a vat of treacle whilst being attacked by red-hot darts, fleeting but so painful. Can you imagine how this must feel? Let's ask Iain Lee.
So how do you feel, Ian?
I feel really bad. I feel a bit like I'm swimming through an ocean of sinister toads who are nibbling at the shins of my mind, the fluorescent teeth of hate, while an enormous caravan driven by gypsies and tears trundles up and down the dual carriageway of my soul.
And get yourself out of the tray of treacle, it'll all seem better. That's about it from us. Good night, Thursday, October the 1st. You were quite a day.
Good night, special lady.
Good night.